Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our program today. We're going to pick up where we left off last week. You need to call your friends and say, Faye is on. It is time to go hear what she's got to say, because the things that are happening around you today are not going to stop until God's people take a stand and reverse the mocking of God by elected leaders of this country. You cannot go by party. You have to go by actions. The Lord says that by our fruit that we will know each other, not by confessions and not by propaganda, but who we are and what we stand for. So today I want to thank all of our new friends, our new viewers. You are writing that letter, you are sending that email, and we're hearing from you. And you can say, Faye, I don't qualify to be an activist. You're the very one I'm talking to. I give you everything you need to work with, but I need about 100 more intercessors. And I am designating a member of Congress. Now this is the House of Representatives. There's 435 of them in both parties. I'm giving you one person. Here's their picture and here's information. I have your picture and information, and I've cut it all out, that I can give you one member of Congress to pray for, to ask God to expose all corruptions. You won't believe how they're spending your money. You won't believe how many millions of dollars they are putting in to people's accounts to watch shrimp walk on a treadmill. Can you believe this? The millions of dollars. And so many of these elected leaders have more in common with the terrorists than they do with U.S. citizens. That means you and me. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Hey there, welcome back. I want to let you know that on January the 1st, I was praying for America. I just welcomed the new year in the presence of the Lord. And I just turned to Psalms 21, and I just knew that was the verse. Those were the verses and the scriptures that he was giving me for this year. We went out of 2019 with a major word from the Lord. And so those of you that didn't see our program at the end of last year, I just want to show you how God has closed out a year and how his promises and his word just bridged the gap of welcoming in the new year. At the end of last year, he spoke to me that the Tower of Babel was going to fall, and that I could expect divine intervention over this nation. That the enemies of America, Jeffrey Epstein and those that have deceived our colleges and university students, the propaganda that has brought socialism to its unacceptable behavior, and those that we've prayed that God would expose all of their corruption and those connected to the child molester would come to light and justice would be served. And the scriptures he gave me at the end of last year was in the book of Genesis. And it was Genesis chapter 11, and it said that the tower would fall. And in verse 6, it said, the Lord came down and saw the tower. And he saw these people had become so one in wickedness that they would move unrestrained. I actually went on the website. My daughter told me that they had just found the remains of the Tower of Babel in Iraq. This is the picture of what we believe the Tower of Babel looked like. And in my face facts at the beginning of this year, the first one, you should get it, January the 7th, I did the research on what they actually have found. The archaeologists have found, and this is ancient Babylonian tablet provides compelling evidence that the Tower of Babel did exist. All of this came after the word from the Lord to me that the people in this nation who were wicked and evil were going to be found out. And there was going to be a great move of God in our nation, and we had a big responsibility in the praying, in the watching, in people running for office, because there's going to be people who are not going to be able to run again because of their own corruption, money laundering, lying. I just found that they paid $570 million for the embassy in Iraq. The U.S. $570 million. You know who got the kickback for all of that from the federal agencies? John McCain got thousands and hundreds of thousands. Marco Rubio, hundreds of thousands in kickbacks from those federal contractors that built that unbelievable in Iraq. I knew they built a big thing, that they came out this week that they had built $570 million. And also Lindsey Graham. I did a fact sheet on that, a face facts on that years ago, how the money laundering back into making these lawmakers that we elect into multi-millionaires by just laundering our tax dollars to people who will give them back a cut. Well, that's our fault, because we have not been watching, we have not been praying, we have not called their corruption to light. And we're changing that this year. And with the Tower of Babel and with Genesis chapter 11, specifically with verse 6, God said that the Lord came down, saw the tower, saw that they were united in their speech, and all he had to do was confuse the languages and scatter them to the ends of the earth, and that tower would come down, and it did. And now the archaeologists have proven that happened. That was a great year end of 2019 from the Lord, and I shared it with our intercessors through the Face Facts on the website, in our television programs, and on Facebook. But the word that God gave me this year, I mean, really, the whole week of Christmas, I celebrated the birth of Christ. We even had a birthday cake. We said, "Happy birthday, Jesus." It's his birthday. That's what we see Christmas as, is the birthday of the King of Glory. And so the first day of the year, I'd let last year go, I'd let the scriptures go, the promises, the problems, everything. And as I sat welcoming this year, I opened my Bible and said, "God, give me a word for 2020 directly from you to show me how to lead this network in the way that you want it to go for this year. We have got a lot on our plate, and then we've got to be right with our praying." He gave me Psalms 21. And it's in our first Face Facts of 2020, and you can get this off the internet. It's on the internet. It's on the. It goes out on our Facebook, or you can just email me, and I'll send you a copy of it. Psalms 21, and he gave me, as I began to read it, I made it into a prayer and a declaration for our president, and that's what I saw it as. And there's been so much slander, so much propaganda, so much abuse. I've never seen anybody treated like this president in my life. He's been nothing but a successful businessman with a beautiful family. He's never preyed on the tax dollars to make him rich. And I've just never seen anything like it. And I've never seen such meanness. It's absolute hatred and meanness coming from people that we are paying. They're not doing their jobs. They're using their jobs and our tax money to put forth an agenda that we hate. We hate socialism. We hate the takeover of America. We hate the mocking of God's laws and aborting and killing unborn babies. We hate what is coming out to take away our religious freedoms. We just can't take it. But they don't care. They've got enough people who don't care, who will elect them to office as long as we're picking up the bill. They don't care what we think. But this is what the Lord gave me. Psalms 21. It says, the king, and I put President Trump's name in there. President Trump shall joy in thy strength, O Lord, and in thy salvation how greatly shall President Trump rejoice. Thou hast given President Trump his heart's desire, and hast not withholden the request of President Trump's lips. For thou preventest President Trump with blessings of goodness, and thou settest a crown of pure gold on President Trump's head. In order to discover President Trump asked life of thee, and thou hast given it to him, and even length of days forever and ever. President Trump's glory is great in thy salvation. Honor, majesty hast thou laid upon President Trump. For thou hast made President Trump more blessed forever. Thou hast made him exceedingly glad with thy countenance. For President Trump trusteth in the Lord, and through the mercy of the Most High. And this is what I loved more than anything that I read. It was verse 6 of Psalms 21. President Trump trusteth in the Lord, and through the mercy and Most High he shall not be moved. Thine hand shall find out thine enemies. Thy right hand shall find out those that hate thee. Thou shalt make as a fiery oven in the time of anger. The Lord shall swallow them up in his wrath, and fire shall devour them. Their fruit shall be destroyed from the earth, their seed from among the children of men, for they intended evil against thee, O God. They imagined a mischievous device, and they are not able to perform it. Therefore shalt thou make them turn their back, when thou shalt make ready thine arrows upon the strings against the face of them. Be thou exalted, O Lord, in thy strength. So shall we sing the praises of thy power. And I am telling you, there's going to be a change in this government. I need for you to adopt a congressperson. I need for you to watch and pray with me. And I need to hear from you today. I'll be right back. Hi, everybody. Boy, our program goes so fast. We must stay in the media. We are right now, people are in demand, but it takes money. We have an unfreedom of the press. We have Nancy Pelosi headed to the presidency of the United States. We must abort this propaganda. I need for you right now to sit down and write that check. I got a $1,000 check because of our spot in our last program. People are saying, Faye, we want you to stay out there. Maybe you can't do 1,000, maybe you can do 100 or 50 or 25. One day I got a check for $5 and one for $3,000. Both of them touched me so much. I'm going to tell you, you've got to do something. So today, just mail your check to Insight USA. It is tax deductible, and mail it today. Your best gift. You know, it's exciting to be an intercessor when you see God answer prayers the way He's answering our prayers. It is so amazing how He reveals the insights to us. On my shows, a couple of shows ago, I read what Ken Copeland had shared on CVN, and it's exactly what I've been telling my intercessors one-on-one for months, and that is thrilling when you know the Lord's voice is the same to those that are hearing His voice. Not everybody does. So I know there's going to be a turnaround in Washington this year, but we cannot give up, and we cannot take anything for granted. If President Trump and the Republican Party thinks that because they do good, people can go vote for them, they can forget it. Because the other side is working endless days getting out the vote, and half of the people in this country voted for Hillary Clinton. And they're adding to that. So you can't take for granted because you're doing good, you're going to get reelected. That has nothing to do with it. What's going to keep our nation in the hands of a pro-life president, a pro-Constitution president, is the people who know God and the people who love this country and pay taxes are going to get out the vote. You can think, hope, pray, do whatever you want to, but if those that want righteousness to rule in America do not go vote, it will not rule. So don't get comfortable, but just get determined that the truth is going to prevail, and I do believe it will. In my weekly prayer bulletin, a lot of times I'll put prophetic utterances that were written by other people or given by other people just to confirm to our intercessors that we are on track and we're not the only ones out there. Lana Vawser is a very well known for her prophecies, and I believe if anybody ever heard from the Lord, this woman does. She's from Australia. Pray for Australia and the fires. I hope they don't get into where she lives or whatever, but her prophecies are sent to me by one of our intercessors in Colorado every week, and this one just goes along with what God showed me for the beginning of the year, from the end of last year, and then bridging the gap of the new year of what we're going to do as intercessors for this year, how we're going to focus, and what we're going to choose to believe Him for. And this is what she said. I'm not going to be able to read it all because we won't have time, but you can get the January 14th Face Facts, and it will be in that. It says, numerous times in the last few weeks, I have been having dreams and encounters regarding the justice of the Lord. The most recent dream, I heard the Lord saying, there's unprecedented demonstrations and manifestations of my justice upon the church in the new era. I believe the church is going to be judged in 2020. So when you see some of God's people with manifested liberty, freedoms, and answered prayer, and you see others falling by the wayside, you can determine the justice of the Lord and the blessings of the Lord and get on track. If you're one of the ones that are being judged, you need to get back on track. How do you do that? Get alone with God. Get on your knees. Open the Word of God. Read it out loud to you. Start with the book of Proverbs. Read it out loud. Your spirit will pick up the Word of God and fight with that Word for you. Read the book of Psalms, and it will fight back for the enemy that's trying to take over and take your soul or that of your family. We have moved into the era, and we shall see the great demonstrations of the justice of the Lord being made manifest in the earth like we have never seen it before. Now, listen, I do not have a clue that this woman's ever heard of me, probably doesn't, because I'm not in their league. So we don't know each other. So this is not coming because of something she's heard or something that I've heard. This is straight from God to her. That is a confirmation of what He's given to us. It said, in most dreams, the Lord continued to speak about the gavel to bring injustices down and to overturn them. Some of the greatest injustices that have happened in 2020, in 2019 of believers and in the earth are going to be overturned in 2020 in this new era. I heard the words, I am bringing down the giants in justice. These giants of injustice in the lives of believers and in the earth have been making more noise than ever before, and it's because the gavel of the Lord is coming down swiftly. The Lord showed me this move of the Spirit. bringing forth unprecedented demonstrations and manifestations of his justice, is going with great acceleration. The Lord will not just be dealing with one era of injustice. The Lord showed me the domino effect of injustice that has his place in the lives of believers and in the earth. The Lord is about to demonstrate his power on a scale we have never seen before, where there will be an accelerated demonstration of the justice of the Lord, overturning the injustices all at once. I heard the words, lifelong injustices will suddenly be overturned. There will be a daybreak of demonstrations of my justice. When the Lord spoke these words, the sense surrounded so strong of major injustices in the lives of believers. The earth is being suddenly overturned in a day. There are new demonstrations of his power to overturn major injustices, going to restore the fear of God. Boy, do we ever need that in the church, and cause the earth to tremble to the majesty and power of God. There's going to be demonstrations in the powerful ways that he is the one who sits high, and his name is above all names. I am laughing at injustice, and I will release the greatest joy my people have ever known in these areas that the injustice stole. The one who rules in the heaven laughs, and the Lord scoffs at them. Psalms 2:4. There's going to be mighty demonstrations of the justice of the dealings of the Lord against those who stand against and breed injustice. You need to do a self-examination at the beginning of this year, and you really need to take a good look at what you do, what you believe, whether or not you stand for anything, or you just let everything go and you're in a propaganda of faith that does not exist. False faith. I need to hear from you. Don't let me down. See you next week. Hi, our program goes so fast. I just want you to know our program is in demand, but it takes money to do it. Do you want to see Nancy Pelosi as president? I don't. But Christians, you've got to step up to the plate. We must impact the media. Go to my website, insightUSA.us. You can make a donation there. You can call our 800 number. It's on the screen. And tell your friends to go to YouTube and watch Faye. That's youtube.com, Insight USA TV. We need your support. We need to walk through these open doors. There's people who could give $50, $100, $1,000. I believe there's people who give $10,000. And God showed me this year there will be someone that could give us $100,000. We need it now. We have the wicked in authority, and we've got to pray them and vote them out. Well, hello everyone. Thank you for watching today. Our program goes so fast, but we have so much to say, and we're determined to stay in the media. I'm one of the few Spirit-filled Pentecostals that's dealing with current events, with prayer, faith, and action, dealing with the daily events that are affecting us as believers. We are organizing the United States, state by state now, intercessors with insight that will pray with us every week, 2 hours a week, according to the issues and the biblically based Bible study that will bring our nation back to God. We need you now to participate. I need to hear from people. 2020 is the year for change, but we have just seen, and this is being taped, so we have just seen our United States members of Congress impeach our president in a rigged impeachment. I've got news for you. That's not the only thing that is being rigged. It's going to take prayer. It's going to take believers knowing what's going on to change that. I need you today to say, Faye, I will lead a group in my state. We need groups in every state. I will personally help you. You don't have to have experience. You will go by the information we supply to you, and everybody's praying the same thing. I need people to send and become sponsors of our media outreach. If you could make a check for $1,000 and mail it today. We are organizing the United States of America. It's impossible for us to lie to Congress and not go to jail. But they are lying to the American people, 62 million voters against 230 liberals that can change the course of America. You must know how your government works. For everyone that will send $100, we want to send you a copy of the Congressional Directory that has the photographs, the addresses, everything you need to know about the Congress of the United States and the states, who they are, what committees they're on. And you must know we are distributing each members of Congress, to an intercessor. We have already distributed 300 of these members to 300 intercessors. If you would like to pray for one Congress person from now until the election, we would like to assign one to you. But in order to do that, we need to hear from you. We need your financial support like we never have before. 2020 will determine the destiny of America. Are you going to remain silent, or are you going to stand and say, I am joining Faye. I will become a part of her teams that are active, her active teams, and let me hear from you. The number is on the screen. You can email me, go to our website, insightUSA.us, or you can call me at the number on your screen. I look forward to hearing from you straight away. Please today, sit down, write that check for whatever God has blessed you with and mail it today, or call our 800 number and make your donation. Until next time, this is Faye saying the Lord is going to deliver this nation this year. Shalom.
Faye wants to hear from you. Her desire to see America come out of exile is raising up one of the most powerful, informed, anointed, and united prayer networks in America for America. She is organizing Christians for the U.S. Constitution to give uncompromising believers back their voice and witness. If this program has blessed you and you believe in what Faye is doing, contact her, pray with and for her, partner with her. She would love for you to host an Insight rally in your church or city. Organize an Intercessors with Insight prayer team or join one. For a complimentary pocket-sized constitution or Faye's fax, call or email Faye. faye.usainsight@gmail.com. Write Insight USA, P.O. Box 917689, Longwood, Florida 32791.